welcome to another Copycat recipe video here on Dole Whip Wishes and Castle Dreams. We're so glad to have you join us today. We've got another request video from Ray Edens. Ray, thank you for submitting this request. And again, if any of you have requests that you'd like to see us do here on Dole Whip Wishes and Castle Dreams, we'd love to hear from you. And also thank you to Willie the Giant on Twitter, who helped us find this recipe. We had a little trouble tracking it down because I like to keep it as authentically Disney as possible. So without further ado, let's jump into what we'll be making. We are going to be making the lobster macaroni and cheese. Now there are a number of places that serve this dish in Disneyland. I know in Animal Kingdom they do. At certain times of the year in Epcot they do. There's just a number of places where they serve this, and it's because it is so delicious. So we are gonna go ahead and make that today. I'm going to go ahead and put up the ingredient list for you. So go ahead and jot down those ingredients. If you need a little extra time, just hit that pause button. But we're gonna go ahead and get started. So you're gonna want to boil your lobster first, so we're gonna do that. And let's move on over to the stove. You're gonna fill a medium-sized pot with water, a little bit of salt, bring it to a boil, and then add your lobster tails to it and boil for about 3 minutes. You'll see then they'll start to curl up when they're ready, and you could pull those out. Then you're going to cook your pasta according to the box. You'll want it al dente, so not quite totally cooked all the way. And then you're going to want to strain it out with a slotted spoon instead of dumping it into a colander, so you can save some of that water for later if you need it. While that's boiling, we're going to go ahead and cut up our veggies. I've got my onion, my leek, and my 2 stalks of celery. So let's go ahead and get in on that and get those chopped up. Melt 2 tablespoons of butter in a large skillet on medium heat. Add the chopped onion, leeks, and celery and saute for about 2 minutes until it's nice and soft. And then you're going to want to add your tablespoon of flour and stir continuously to create a light roux. So it takes about 4 minutes, and you want it to just look nice and smooth. Make sure it doesn't burn, because that will burn pretty quickly. So again, continuously stir it. And then you're going to add 1 cup of white wine and slowly stir it until it reduces by about 1/4. Then you're going to add your milk or your heavy cream, whichever you prefer, but you're going to add it nice and slowly and stir continuously. And again, you just want to make sure it's all well incorporated, and then you can add salt and tarragon to taste. And last but certainly not least, you need to add all of your cheeses in. You'll want to do it a little slowly so you can just really get that incorporated in there, and you're just going to keep stirring and keep it on that heat until all the cheese is melted and it makes a nice sauce. Okay, so our lobster's done. You notice it's a little curled. You're just gonna open it up and make a little slit along the inside. Ooh. It's not as easy as it looks. There we go. To just kind of crack it open so we can get our meat out. You're going to want to make sure it's cool so you don't burn yourself. And you're just going to cut that meat out. or pull it out with your fingers even. There we go. Do the same with our other one. We're gonna chop our meat, so it's okay if you kind of get it with the knife when you get in there. Just yank that out. There we go, and then we're just gonna chop it up. And the size of the pieces is really up to you. You notice I switched cutting boards because we don't cut our meat and our vegetables on the same board, which is just a good kitchen tip. Okay, now that we have that cut, we've got our rigatonis already cooked, and our sauce is ready. Now all we have to do is mix it all in and put it in our baking dish. So let's go ahead and work on that now. Okay, so we're gonna put our noodles in our sauce. And our lobster. And we're just gonna mix it all together. Looks delicious. Make sure you get the noodles down in there so some of the sauce gets on the inside too, because the more sauce, the better, let's be honest. It smells amazing too, by the way, so you definitely need to make this one. Okay, now we're gonna pour it into our baking dish. I'm gonna preheat my oven to 400, and we also need to make our topping. So let's get this cleaned up and we'll get started on our topping for it. Okay, so I melted my butter. For our topping, 2 tablespoons, and we're just gonna add our Parmesan cheese, that 1/4 of a cup, and our 1/4 of a cup of breadcrumbs, and you're just gonna mix that all together until it's combined. Should be pretty crumbly, just a little wet, not too wet. Okay. And then you're just gonna sprinkle it over the top. Again, if you're serving other people, you might not wanna use your hands, but this is for my family, so I'm gonna use my hands. I just think it sprinkles better with my fingers versus like a spoon. But you can use a spoon, or you can use food handler gloves. Whatever floats your boat. And then we're going to put it in the oven. Like I said, we've got it going up to 400 degrees. And we're gonna bake it for about 15 minutes until it's nice and golden brown. Okay, you see our crumbs are all nice and evenly on the top, so let's get it in the oven. So here it is, all golden and delicious and bubbly, and it smells amazing, and I can't wait to try it. But I bet you thought I forgot about our sprinkling of pixie dust, because our recipe is technically done. But for today, what we like to do with our sprinkling of pixie dust is do something a little bit extra, like how Disney always adds just a little bit extra magic to make things seem even more magical. So we like to do that with our recipes, just find something that we can just take a step further maybe, and we call it our sprinkling of pixie dust. So for today, my sprinkling of pixie dust actually isn't in the recipe, but it's in what I'm going to serve it in. So instead of a boring old bowl, I'm going to use these fun margarita glasses. I thought that would just be really cute and kind of fancy, because lobster macaroni is kind of fancy. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there and let you see it. And here's our sprinkling of pixie dust. Isn't it cute? I love the way that looks. So we hope you enjoyed this recipe. Again, lobster macaroni, can't wait to try it. If you haven't had it at the parks yet, you should try our recipe. And if you're going to the parks, you should definitely give this one a try. It's delicious. Thanks again, Ray, for making the request. And we hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. We'd love to have you a part of our YouTube family. And make sure you tap that bell too, so that you can be up to date on all of our videos. We've got a new one each week. We do copycat recipes, Disney crafts, and also some tips and tricks for visiting Disney. And we also take you along for our travel vlog when we go to Disney, so you can come along with us on our vacation. It's super fun. So be sure you subscribe and tap the bell so you don't miss any of those episodes. Thanks for stopping by, and we hope to see you real soon.